Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Alex Thomas in London, live to the Women's World Cup in just a moment. But we start with some major breaking sports news. Defending champion Rory McIlroy will almost certainly miss Britain's Open Golf Championship after rupturing ankle ligaments while playing football. The world number one revealed the injury on his Instagram account, posting a picture showing him in crutches with a cast on his left foot. McIlroy wrote, "Continuing to assess extent of injury and treatment plan day by day. Rehab already started, working hard to get back as soon as I can." But with Britain's Open Championship starting next week, there's now a huge question mark over his participation and what would have been a hugely anticipated showdown with Masters and US Open champion Jordan Spieth. Well, we've been joined in the studio by sports injury specialist Dr. Ralph Rogers, who's a medical director at the London Sports Clinic. But first, let's hear from the host of our Living Golf show, host Shane O'Donoghue, who joins us on the telephone line from Dublin. Shane, what more do you know about McIlroy's injury?
Well, it was fairly innocuous. Nobody came near him. He was playing a five-a-side soccer kind of kickabout on Saturday evening and pretty much just went over on his left ankle. So he's definitely damaged, or should I say ruptured, the ATF ligament. So, you know, it's devastating news for him at the moment. They can't really properly assess it for another couple of days. It takes maybe 3 to 5 days of a window before you can really kind of analyse what exactly has happened and what the prognosis will be. But, you know, Steve McGregor is the expert that works in the Rory camp. He's the sports scientist and an expert in sports medicine. So, you know, they've got the best possible kind of help in Team Rory. But it remains to be seen whether he's going to tee it up at all at the Open Championship. You know, the chances are fairly slim right now.
Yeah, and in golfing terms, how big a blow is this for him and the tournament?
Well, it's massive, you know, and he was playing so well and his preparation was so good. He'd been playing a lot of golf at Royal County Down in recent weeks, played at Portmarnock last week, also in Portrush, played several rounds at his home club in Hollywood. Very much back to the normal kind of Rory of his youth, which is exactly where he wants to be. And unfortunately, things just took a turn for the worst on Saturday evening. So this was totally unexpected. It has completely kind of shattered a lot of the plans, but as I say, they can't really properly assess for another couple of days because the ankle obviously needs complete rest at the moment.
Yeah, well, Shane, let's try and shed some light on that medical condition now with Dr. Ralph. I know you haven't looked at the injury yourself, but from the types of injuries you've looked at that are similar in the past, what hope has Rory got of being ready in time?
Well, it depends. It's just like your guest said. It depends on the extent of the injury. Is it a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? They still don't know. First I heard of it was like a complete rupture. But it might just be a small grade 1 injury. You know, what we call like rolling over, you know, a simple ankle sprain or rolling over your ankle. Would his
foot be in a cast if it was that minor?
No, yeah, because you're trying to protect it. You know, one of the first things you want to do is actually protect the ankle and put some compression and ice and elevation. It's always the same thing, always.
He's going to be under huge pressure to start that Open. He's the defending champion. He's the world number one. We all want to see him up against Spieth. He
Absolutely
wants to take on Jordan Spieth. You know the pressure these top athletes are under to get on the field of play. Can they do something? Can he at least turn up and try and get through that first round with bandages and injections?
Absolutely. Again, it depends on the extent of the injury. If it's a grade 1, I think he'd be out there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he might not do himself justice because, you know, of the injury, which would be really concerning, especially from a competitive point of view. But if it's a grade 1 sprain, surely they can tape it up and, you know, there's all kinds of other tricks in the trade that we use.
Very briefly, could he badly damage it if he tries to play through the pain?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he needs to be careful about that.
Needs to be careful.
Because I want to get back to Shane for one last answer, Shane. You heard what Dr. Ralph had to say there. Do you think Rory's going to be under pressure to play, or is he going to be worried about his long-term career first and foremost?
I think he's going to be under massive pressure to play. Obviously, he wants it. He's very aware of golfing history. His plans were perfect 5 years ago. He opened with a 63 and then got done in by the wind and then finished with rounds of 69 over the weekend to finish, you know, in the top 3. So he's got everything going for him with regard to his preparations, but now they've absolutely been thrown asunder with this twisted ankle, this ruptured ligament. You know, I'm hearing that the ligament is gone, but you know, whether he can get back, it remains to be seen. You know, he is chasing history. They all want to win the Open at St Andrews, but this has totally thrown a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it's a hard one to pull out of. Shane O'Donoghue, our living golf host, and Shane and I are going to be there covering the event next week. Thanks, Shane. He was on the phone from Dublin. Dr. Ralph Rogers, a sports injury specialist from the London Sports Clinic. Thanks for coming in, Dr. Ralph.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So maybe no McIlroy, but perhaps we can get excited by a rejuvenated Tiger Woods instead. The former world #1 finishing the latest PGA Tour event, the Greenbrier Classic, in joint 32nd place, but this is the crucial bit, had a bogey-free round for the first time since 2013. He was only 6 strokes off a playoff in the end. Robert Streb got into that playoff despite having to use a sand wedge to putt with for half of his final round. He damaged his putter at the 9th, but made 5 birdies with the wedge and finished on 13 under par, along with 3 other players. But it was New Zealand's Danny Lee who took the title, draining this birdie at the first sudden death hole to eliminate Kevin Kistner and Streb. David Hearn also birdied that par 3, but couldn't match Lee's par at the next, so a first PGA Tour victory for the Kiwi golfer.
Of the 2015